Good morning. I am out for my walk today, and I'm not very far from the freight train yard. And I already heard the horn. It sounds like an engine. The locomotive's powering up, but I don't know. Still got a ways before I get there. Oh, you can hear it now. So maybe I'm here just in time. So, woke up this morning and I immediately saw the news about O.J. Simpson having passed away from cancer. And it immediately brought back a lot of memories for me, and mostly about the murder trial and all the rest. I was going through a very, very, very difficult time in life when that happened, and I wanted to share that with the channel today, and some early memories too, because I was a kid growing up in the 1960s when OJ was a big name in the football world. We got some clouds starting to build up. Apparently we are going to be having rain over the weekend. I don't know how much, because I didn't look, but I did hear about that. So, looking down that way, that train I heard must have been actually leaving, going in that direction. We'll walk out here on the main line. Okay, he's down the main line, and I can hear a little bit of a rumble and a roar. Sounds like he might be coming back up. Yeah, I'd say he's heading this way, so I am going to exit the tracks. And looking around, don't see anybody around. So, what happened to me in 1994 was a breakup with the only woman I've ever really truly loved. I've had a lot of girlfriends in my life, but this one was it. She was the living end for me. We met in '93 and we were together until about March of '94 when he's a-comin', when we had a very nasty breakup and split up, and it was because she was seeing somebody else. And I still remember that day when she actually told me that there was somebody else and that she wanted to pursue that. My heart just sank. I was absolutely devastated by this situation. It was just terrible. It was so difficult. I didn't handle it well at all. I was having financial problems back in those days, and I was drinking quite a lot as well, and I just didn't handle it well. It was just so devastating to me. Yeah, it was sometime in March when she told me that, and I just could not picture my life without her. I just loved her so much, and I got to admit it, to this day I still feel a connection with her. I don't believe I'm in love with her anymore. Of course, it's been an awful lot of years, and time does heal everything, and it was just a devastating time for me. I just couldn't get over it at all. And with my financial trouble and knowing that I was probably going to be looking at a bankruptcy because I just had over $20,000 in debt for just stupid reasons, and it was going to be really hard to pay it off. Well, he's basically just stopped right down there. I would assume on the other side of the crossing guard, because I don't hear them. Pretty nice sky this morning. I kind of wish I was getting a time lapse of that. So a couple of big events would happen starting in April, on April 5th, or rather on April 8th. The body of Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain was found. And I was a Nirvana fan, and so was she. We attended a concert. Nirvana played here about 10 miles, less than 10 miles in that direction. And we had attended that in probably January, I guess. And so that was devastating. I took that really hard. And I can't believe how bright and sunny it is off in that direction. Look at that. The sun's not even up yet. It's just illuminating that cloud. And so that happened. That made things much worse for me. And as I said, I was drinking a lot. So it was in either, I think it was around the first or second week of June that we suddenly hear the news that O.J. Simpson's ex-wife, I'm not sure if they were still married at that time, was found dead in a double murder. Cole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman were found brutally murdered. And I remember just watching this on the news, and it was very interesting. And you know, the coverage of it and everything was like something I had not really ever seen before. And talk was right from the very beginning that suspicion was upon O.J. Simpson. So I first heard about O.J. Simpson when I was probably 7 years old or something. And as a kid, I really enjoyed football, watching it. I played a little bit in school, but not very much. And the thing was, back in those days, in the later 60s and early 70s, kids collected football cards and baseball cards and basketball, I guess, but mostly football. And at least for me, that's the only thing that I ever really collected. And I had what you did back then, if you bought these specific packages of gum, and I don't remember the name of them, and it was some type of bubble gum, and if you bought this package of gum, it would come with like 4 or 5 free football cards. So that's what myself and all my friends were doing. We're collecting these baseball cards, and then we'd swap them and all the rest. My favorite team was the Baltimore Colts. Fun doing that. And at that time, O.J. Simpson had set a bunch of records or things, the Heisman Trophy and all the rest. He had done some really amazing things, and it was the talk of the town. And I remember him, and he played with the Buffalo Bills. But after a while, I no longer was interested in football. So back to the double murder situation. O.J. had been, there was just a lot of talk that he was a prime suspect. And it didn't take very long for the infamous freeway scene to happen. And I just happened to be home that day. I was home and watching the cable TV. And when the sheriff or whoever it was announced right there on live television that O.J. was missing and an active search is happening for him because he has been accused of murder. Apparently I think they actually had a warrant for his arrest. And later on that day, it was getting kind of close to sundown, and the Bronco freeway driving thing happened, and I thought it was just so neat, It's like, wow, this is live television, because I really hadn't seen anything like that before. And then of course they arrest him, and then the trial starts, and you got to see inside the courtroom, and man, it was just really exciting, I thought, at that time. And it kind of helped me with my breakup. It kind of helped me to get over that, but it would take years and years for me to completely get over that. And it was in, let's see, what was it? 2011, because Mom was sick at that time, and we had to put her in a assisted living because she was suffering from dementia. And I came home one day, and it had been a really bad day at the assisted living place because Mom just fought that and fought that and fought that. She was very angry with us for putting her in there, but she could not, she didn't think anything was wrong with her, and you know, it's just a typical story. And it has been a really bad day, and I stopped at the store and got a half case of beer or something, or I already had one, I remember, and I went home and just started hammering them down. And at that time I was using Facebook quite a lot, and I suddenly see a friend request on there from T, and I just couldn't believe it. But she had a different last name. The only reason I knew it because I looked at her picture. She had a married name, and so she had gotten married. I didn't know about that. And so yeah, this was like 20 years later, and the more I sat there and drank, the more I wanted to answer her friend request, and I did. And I sent something stupid to her, some stupid comment that she would understand, and it bothered me the whole night. I couldn't hardly even go to sleep thinking about that. And so we got to be friends, and we've talked 8 or 9 times on Facebook over the years. And we actually met one time for it's probably been 5 years now. For Thanksgiving breakfast, we decided to get together and go out to Thanksgiving breakfast at a Sherry's restaurant, I guess it was. And it was very nice seeing her again. She changed a lot, and but it was really nice just to, you know, spend a morning with her and talking about things. And she was already divorced from her new husband. She had told me that on Facebook, and I told myself there's no possible way I'm going to go anywhere near restarting things up with her. And you know, she didn't push that, and I certainly didn't either. So but I haven't talked to her for probably 5 months or something, because I don't really use Facebook anymore. I go on there occasionally, but I don't post anymore or anything like that. All right, sun is finally starting to crest those clouds. Unfortunately, the train is not coming up here, so it's not going to yeah, I don't know what they're waiting for. I'll start my walk back. Okay, so that's the story of what was going on in my life way back in 1994 during that double murder situation involving O.J. Simpson.